Varia is the new collectible card game from Guildhouse Games. In it, you play as one of the 7 available heroes fighting in single combat against one of the others. The game takes a fight scene complete with attacks, blocks, and spells, and distills it into a fast-paced and dynamic back and forth between 2 players as they act and react for each moment in each clash. We've played the game with a number of characters and have come up with 5 things we liked and 1 thing we didn't. So, let's enter the arena and see what they are. To start with, you're given the choice between 7 different characters, each with a unique playstyle. These range from the in-your-face power held by the volcanic warrior, to the backstabbery and evasiveness of the assassin, or the cocky, swashbuckling style of the death pirate. The themes of each character, as well as their personality, are very apparent in the cards they have, such as Charm for the death pirate, which prevents any damage from your opponents for each moment that the charm is active, or Explosive Charge for the volcanic warrior, which has you rushing at your opponent and engaging them even if they did just try to run away. Each character also has unique items they can use, which are a mechanic that I very much appreciate. These are actions that you can use every round, since, unlike your action cards, items stay in front of you for the entire game, unless they are ruined by your opponent. This means that you're almost never left defenseless, or without something to do on your turn, no matter what cards you have in your hand. Instead of the usual mana systems in most CCGs, Varia uses action points. Every turn, each player gets 10 action points, and these are flat so you can't really modify them with anything, and you use these to pay for the actions that you place. The interesting thing about how these work is that you don't actually pay the action points for the actions that you're taking until after both players have finished deciding all of their fast and slow actions. Additionally, even though you can only use 10 action points per turn, you can play cards costing more than that, which will cause the actions that you can't pay for to be your first ones for the next turn. This ability to plan more actions than you have action points can be really useful to counter what the other player is doing, just in case something really dramatic happens or they put down like their trump card and you have to respond to it or else you're going to lose the game. The points being static throughout the game also removes the ramp-up period that is so common in most CCGs, and gives you the flexibility to react to the other players much more freely. Varia is played in turns, and is resolved in moments. Now, what this means is that when your turn starts, you are the active player, and the other player is reactive. You then get to decide what actions you want to take, and play those in order to create the moments, which are synonymous to each distinct action that you're taking. Once you're satisfied with how many actions you've played, your opponent then gets to react and play their own actions into the moments that you created with yours. You then get a chance to do fast actions, after which time your opponent also gets to react to those. This keeps going until you're both satisfied with what you've played, and then you go ahead and resolve each of the moments individually. Offensive and defensive abilities can be used regardless of whether you are the active or reactive player, which keeps the action in your face and reinforces the feel of a fast-paced duel to the death. Once you've played your actions and seen your opponent's reactions, you can modify the ones that you've played using the fast actions. These allow you to either add cards to the actions that you have on the board, which changes the number of dice rolled, the results of the actions, and can give them special abilities. You can even replace the actions that you put out with fast actions to account for what your opponent is doing. These give gameplay a very dynamic feel, keep the gameplay very balanced and also keep you engaged throughout the entirety of the game. The biggest issue we've had with the game was teaching it to new players. Many CCGs have a similar format, with standard turn structure, card types, and interactions between players. Varia alters that enough that teaching it to those who know existing CCGs have elements of unlearning how certain interactions work. For example, adding the moments which define which actions interact with each other is not something that I've seen in any other games. And the idea that you can play more actions than you have action points available is also very unique. The designers have taken steps to mitigate this, including a play-by-play tutorial for the first game, and how to play videos on their website, but it can still be hard to get over that initial hurdle for new players. And there you have it. Those are our thoughts on Varia, a creative and fresh new look at CCGs that keeps the game dynamic and the players involved every turn. Do you like CCGs? What do you think about Varia? Let us know in the comments below, and be sure to stay tuned for more board game content every week. And of course, be safe, be well, and we will see you next time.